last few years, having started my business. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm going to spend the first half telling you about my story, and then the second half telling you about some of the lessons that I learned that maybe you can, it will apply to your lives in general. So first off, what is Sourced? We are a full-service back office solution dedicated to small to medium-sized businesses. And what we do is we provide marketing services, bookkeeping help, office admins, hiring services, so small businesses can get whatever they need so they can focus on what they need to do and delegate all the rest of the stuff that comes with being a business owner, but they can access those services a la carte and based on their particular needs. So every single client is customized. Some services apply to one and not the other. They can combine them. And we make it affordable, we make it accessible, and we just say, you go do what it is that you love to do, and we'll take care of all the other pieces that are super, super important, but you specifically don't have to do them. You specifically have to go sell a house, or you specifically have to go build this machine. You do not have to be doing your bookkeeping, or you do not need to manage your email spam and whatnot. So we kind of take all those pieces. It's everything that goes from social media and email, through accounting, all the way down to organizing somebody's office. We're all local here in Atlanta, so if we need to show up at someone's office, we do. If they want it virtual, that's totally fine too. So that's what I created. I'm in business with my mom, Chrissy, which has been a wonderful journey. If you would have asked me when I was a teenager, had that been the case, I would have said no, but it's amazing that we're here. But so to tell you a little bit of my story is I never thought that I was going to end up in business. So much so that when I went to college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I grew up wanting to be an actress and I pursued it heavily, and when I realized I didn't want to do that anymore, I was like, what do I do now? I have a blank slate. So I went to my parents, as any clueless 18-year-old does, and I said, Mom and Dad, what do I go to college and major in? And they said, go get a business degree. It's very generic. You can do anything you want with it. It's got applicable skills. And I said, okay, sure. I walk into my first Economics 101 class, which hindsight should be the easiest class ever. I mean, it's basically 101 common sense. But I could not get it. I mean, you guys, I was terrible at it. I was so right-brained and creative thinking that I was just like, this is not for me. I muscled through it, and the thought of taking accounting gave me nightmares. So I was like, this is not for me. I am not a business person. No, no, no. So by the time that I got to my senior year of college, I decided to go and get an advertising degree, which was a round-the-horn way of getting a marketing degree without taking accounting classes. So I thought I was super creative, except for now I wish I would have taken those accounting classes. Those would have been very helpful. But I can't tell my story without bringing my faith into it. So put your perspective how you want to put it. But I was a senior in college. I was getting this advertising degree. And I had a job lined up. I just had an internship with IHG that I loved. They were going to hire me. I was feeling really good about everything. And then I was brushing my teeth one day, my spring semester, and when you're brushing your teeth, you're not thinking about anything in particular, like nothing at all. So I know this to be true, that God spoke to me in that moment. And I have never heard him clearly before or since. It was the craziest thing ever. I still don't believe that it actually happened to me, but he said, Gabrielle, you are going to own your own business one day. You're meant to be an entrepreneur. And for somebody that didn't know what they wanted to do in life, I was amped. I mean, I had done it. I figured it out before I graduated, checked that box. I was highly ambitious, so I was like, I did what I was supposed to do. And of course, my next question was, great, well, of what? Radio silence. Didn't hear anything. Even afterwards, still don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I hope I am. So my first call was to my mom, Chrissy. I said, Mom, I know what it is that I want to do. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start a business. And she goes, that's great, honey. Well, of what? I'm like, well, I don't know. I just know I want to do it. And I thought this was going to happen much later in my life, that God had other plans for me. But she gave me a very unique response. And after we kind of had this moment, she was like, honey, that's really awesome. I always wanted to start my own business, but I never had the opportunity. I had kids. I had to take care of a family. I think that's really great. And I was listening to her talk about this, and I'm like, Mom, I'm 20. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life at all. I don't even know about the world. I can't even pass an Econ 101 class. Why don't we do this together? And she was like, okay. So that kind of started the impetus of we're going to go into business together. Now, again, I thought this was going to happen much later in my life. So I go and I start my job at IHG, and I love it, but I just knew there was something else for me. Plus, I should have known better that when we get our mind set on something, we can't get off of it. So the thought of me waiting until I was like 45, 50 to start a business was a joke. I should have known that about myself. We pretty much immediately called a franchise broker, and we were like, we want to start a business right now. So I'm working, and I've got this double life of looking for something on the side. And we had 3 criteria of things that we wanted in a business. We wanted to help people, we wanted to employ people, and we wanted it to be a fun business. I mean, I was 20 when we had the thought. So we told this to the franchise broker, and he brought us a bunch of businesses, which were great, and we went down the line with several of them, and we even got to the signing table on one, and it didn't end up working out. But at the end of the day, we just had this feeling of like, we had all these really great businesses, but they weren't serving the definitions that we wanted to serve. It wasn't helping people the way we wanted to help people. So we took a look at ourselves and we said, if we're going to spend all this money on a franchise to put in somebody else's pocket who had a great idea, we can do that. Like, why don't we do that? We can invest in ourselves, and if we fail, we fail. We would have lost the money anyway, and if we succeed, then great. So let's just do it. So we did. And there, again, moment of silence. We're like, well, what are we going to do? So we started with our 3 criteria, and we said, okay, who do we want to help? And after a series of events, we determined that we wanted to help business owners. We love business owners. I think the reason why our country is so awesome is that you can quit your job any day and go do what it is that you want to do, and with enough blood, sweat, and tears, you can freaking go do that. But also, like, small business owners have the highest amount of risk and the least amount of resources of anybody. Nobody cares about them because they don't have experience and they don't have money. So we're the people that are going to help them. So we said, we're gonna help them. We're gonna help these people, and the little guys will one day become the small guys, and maybe we can be on that journey with them, and maybe we can help get them there. And thus Source was born. We basically went out into the entrepreneur community and said, what do you need? What is not being served right now? And we built Source based on their answers. And that is really the story of how we got started. It has been an amazing journey. We've been able to employ over 40 people at this point. On and off, we've helped probably close to 60 businesses grow. I have been shocked at the success that we've had. We've won 2 awards. We've been a finalist for another 2, and now I'm up for my first individual award, which is shocking to me. And I still look in the mirror and I'm like, this is my life. This is crazy. It's very, very humbling. So we're very lucky. But I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that because it's the basis for the lessons that I learned. How do I flip this one? So the first lesson is if you're afraid of doing something, you should probably do it anyway, especially if you're so afraid of it, you're terrified of it. When I quit my job, the 3 months before I actually quit, and definitely the 2 weeks, I don't think I ate and I don't think I slept. I walked into my boss's office and it was 101 heartbeats per minute. I was looking at my Fitbit. I should have died, really. I was 26 years old. I had everybody in that office saying, this is cool, but what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I don't really know. But I just knew that I had to. And I have found that on the other side of fear, it is an incredible, powerful, life-changing tool that you will shock yourself on what you're able to accomplish, and you will reap rewards tenfold if you just stop listening to that little voice in your brain that says you can't do it, you're not going to succeed, it's not a good idea, yada, yada, yada. Don't listen to it, because on the other side, you come out of it personally so much better. Forget it being successful, forget you having a good idea, forget you even going anywhere, you might crash and burn. I am not the person I was 3 years ago in any sense, shape, or form, and I will never go back because I crossed that line. And I've been very fortunate to have found a little bit of success along the way, but even if Source dies tomorrow, I'm so glad that I did it, and I'm never turning back. Lesson number 2, Whatever you do in life, remember that you can't get there on your own. So I've been very fortunate. I know all of you have supporters and people who cheer you on and who encourage you, and it's very easy to get caught up in life and forget the people that help get you there. I have a team setting in my office, so I have to take this very literally of my business is built on the backs of other people. And I have to thank people in that same way because they are quite literally giving me my dream every single day. But even the people that don't have a sea of support, there's always somebody, that random guy in the coffee shop that says that unexpected thing that you weren't expecting to hear that is what you needed. There's always a bunch of people behind you that not only get you where you are today, but that will get you where you want tomorrow. And I think that this has been very inset in my life because I can't do what I do without people, and I know it's applicable to a lot of different people. Next slide, please. Lesson 3, you get what you give. I believe in the law of attraction, and there are no coincidences, and what you put out in the world is what you get back. But I also believe that every single person has a slice of influence in this world. The slice can be big or it can be small, but you've got your own area of influence. And if your focus every single day is to make that slice of the world better today than it was yesterday, you will get rewarded. I have seen this happen in my business so many times. I can't explain it. It's not always equal. It's never always what I give, and it's never on my timeline. But I have found that if you focus on putting good out in the world, and you're not focused, or particularly on money, or making more clients, or having status, or whatever, and your focus is actually putting good out there, it will come back to you. And this is something that I have to remind myself every day when I'm in really tough circumstances, as I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You've always got to put good out in the world. Lesson 4, you can never go wrong by doing the right thing. And I know every single person in this room has been challenged by doing the right thing. We have all ran into really challenging obstacles and things that seem surmountable, and the pain in the butt person that I'm right and I know you're wrong, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I've learned 3 things when it comes to doing the right thing. 1, you look good. People are watching all the time. And you can have a reputation of doing the right thing, even when it's to your detriment, when you're doing the right thing all the time. So you may think it's in secret, but it is definitely not. Number 2, when you reflect, I don't know if you guys do this, but when I meet a circumstance, I'm always replaying in my head, how could I do that better? What did I do that was wrong? How could I change that? If you do the right thing, you can. Like, you woke up and you did the right thing by you at that time. And that is something that you can't argue with anybody ever. I did the right thing that I thought was right. Okay, what do you challenge me? It doesn't happen. Which begets the 3rd thing, which is you sleep at night. I don't know if you guys have ever had problems with going to bed at night because something's been on your mind, but if you did the right thing, you'll sleep like a baby. So it doesn't really matter. Take the moral high ground every single time, and it will always lead you to the right places. And that goes back to lesson number 2 of putting out good out into the world, and it will come back to you. Lesson 5. This is very near and dear to my heart because anybody who knows an entrepreneur, and I kind of knew this going into it, but I should have known it more. The highs are so high. They are so awesome. And the lows are so low. There is very little in the middle, which is what I wasn't expecting. And I've learned that you have to celebrate every little success or big success or whatever and in between, because those successes get you through the inevitable failures, and you should expect those failures. Now, those failures might also be on different levels and different degrees, but if you're celebrating a good conversation with somebody, that might get you through your next day, which might be like a bad client day, or you lose a client, God forbid. But I've also learned with this one, that whole cliche of it's not about the journey, it's about the destination. I freaking hate that statement. I'm a goal-oriented person. It's about the destination. But I was wrong. I was very, very wrong, and I'm still learning that. There's magic in life when you just stop and actually appreciate life and you enjoy where you're going. And I've had to learn in that celebrating those successes that you're really riding the journey. you're really not missing out, because everything that we have, you guys, can be gone in an instant, like that. I mean, my business, my whole life could be gone tomorrow. And if I don't celebrate it now, I might wake up tomorrow and say, gosh, I wish I would have appreciated it more. I wish I would have thanked people. I really wish I wouldn't have taken it for granted. I missed it. Don't miss it. Like, that's the point. But also be kind to yourself. I know that just the nature that you guys are sitting here, you're very ambitious people. Pat yourself on the back when you've got something that you're proud of, and whine about it when you've got something you're unhappy about. Then move on and go do what it is that you do, but don't miss the journey. It's pretty awesome. Number 6, you never know where an opportunity is coming from. I have had business come from the oddest of places and the most convoluted of stories that I can't even track it because it's been so strange. I had one client come from my old roommate's ex-boyfriend's brother. What? So first of all, have a good reputation with people, number one, because that gets around. But really the point of this is, like, not everyone here has that whole client-sales relationship, but you never know where your next opportunity is coming from. And the point is to keep not only your mind open, but your heart open to accept new opportunities. Because you never know if that next new opportunity is going to be the best damn thing that ever happened to you, and you don't want to miss it. And it may look different, it may not be what you're expecting, but it might just be what you needed at that time. Lesson number 7, trust your intuition. Your intuition is a muscle that only gets exercised when it's tested. So you're either born with a really good intuition, and great for you, but some of us have to build it up from scratch. That would be me. And I've had to learn that you have to trust your gut. You have to follow your instincts, and you're right more often than you think you are. And when you're listening to that little voice inside your head that's saying you're not good enough, you're not right enough, or that's, just push through it, it's fine. I have found that's never the case, that I always should just trust what it is that I'm thinking, and I'm usually right. And I try to remind people of this all the time because I think that little voice gets in the way. So you're smarter than you think you are. Just trust your heart. Lesson 8. In whatever you do, do it for a higher calling. This was an interesting lesson that I didn't expect to learn when I started a business. But sometimes your sheer willpower is not enough. There are days in whatever you do, whether it's a business or you're a parent or you just have a job of some kind, where you don't want to get out of bed. You're not motivated to do anything. You don't want to go into that meeting. You don't want to have that conversation. You can't imagine having to do this for the next several weeks, whatever that is. And if you're not doing it for something that's greater than yourself, you're not going to run the marathon. It's a sprint. So for me and for Source, I know that this company is going to do something amazing in the world. I don't know what it is yet. We have plans to be philanthropic of some kind, but I haven't figured that out yet. And I think we're doing a lot of good now, but what gets me out of bed on those days where I just don't feel like doing it is I know years from now I'm going to change someone's life. And that means something. So whether you're doing it for your kids, whether you're doing it to make more money, whether you're doing it for whatever reason, have that thing that is greater than you that will propel you into doing whatever it is you do, and your driving force, because you're going to need it. And finally, life lesson number 9 is always chase your dreams, which sounds so cliche, but as I was trying to put into words what I meant by this lesson, the line that kept coming to my head was, never give up. That's a bunch of BS. I think the whole never give up thing should be thrown out the window. There's a lot of things you have to give up on. I gave up on a great job. For instance, you have to give up on self-doubt. You have to give up on people that don't believe in you. You have to give up on all sorts of things. So give up on everything that you have to give up, but what you should never give up on is what you're dreaming about. And that can change a lot in your life, especially when you have kids, Kevin. Your dreams are going to change. But you should always keep going after them. And it doesn't matter if you're going after them fast, if you're going after them slow, if your target moves, if you meet somebody and they change or alter the plan, it's fine, as long as you're going after something. The point of this is you don't want to wake up on the other side of life and say, gosh, I wish I could have. why didn't I do that? I regret not doing X, Y, and Z. Go do it. Even if you don't succeed, the fact that you tried is enough. And that leads me to my final slide, which is when you go off and you go do whatever that is that you want to do, don't be fearful of it. Always push for it. It's worth it to take that first jump. Trust your instincts. Thank the people often and always that get you there, and just go do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's my story. That's what I've learned, and thanks for indulging me.
Do you mind hanging out for a minute?
Yeah.
Answer some questions.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna have some pop up.
Have you found, let's say, any sort of niche that you picked up over the years in starting this business?
For our business?
Yeah, within, let's say, the space that you're in.
Yeah, a couple. So when we went to market, the vast majority of people told me, you gotta pick a niche. And I said, no, we're not gonna pick a niche. We're gonna let the market talk to us. And it did. So we work with a lot of people in the construction space and the trade space. People that work with their hands are an ideal client for us, because if they're not working with their hands, they're not making money. So if they're worried about their email marketing strategy or their bookkeeping or calling their clients to confirm appointments, that's not good. So the same thing with like people with billable hours, but we definitely find that the blue collar, construction, remodeling, plumbing, electric space works really well for us. Surprisingly, we have a lot of CPAs that work for us. I was shocked, personally, because I was like, you're competition, you guys do accounting. Turns out they don't want to do it. So they outsource us to do their bookkeeping so they can do the fun stuff in their business that actually like meets their pay grade. So those are the two areas that we find are like rise to the top. But we help all industries. Healthcare is another one that we are starting to see a trend in. We've helped restaurants, tech business, wedding, I mean, like you name it, across the board. So.
My question is, at what point were you always like this with these 9 lessons, or?
Oh, hell no.
Were you even like in that space where you were considering it, or what was the turning point? Was it like, did you pick these up?
There was lots of turning points, lots of struggle days. No.
Because these are all really insightful, and I think we would all agree, like, these are really insightful, and a lot of them are stuff that, you know, we thought ourselves, and every time you see something, it's nice to see somebody else that thinks the same way as you.
Well, thank you.
So I was just wondering how you got to that point, if there was a spot.
No, the fear lesson I learned early on, because I was very, very lucky to have a lot of support, and we had a lot of clients right off the bat. And I always thought to myself, what if I never did this? I just had visions of myself having a family, staying in corporate, and looking back on my life and saying, I never did what I was instructed to do. And that was very unsettling to me, but it was very real. I had to have people shove me out the door. And going back to my faith, I had a great job, but God was shutting all the doors. I mean, he was basically kicking me out of my office job. And if it didn't take that kind of encouragement from other people, and it was very, very clear, I never would have done it. And I just think of all the people that were just like me and never would have done it. So that one, it always started there. But I mean, I just learned through this from bad day to bad day to bad day, and you just build up an armor. And I don't want to use the word wisdom. I don't feel like I'm wise, but along the way, I would just write down kind of what I've learned, and it made me reflect on how much I've grown. But then the more that I wrote down and the more that I thought about it, I'm like, more people, I mean, this is normal people stuff, and normal people don't get to have an experience like I'm having, so I always wanted to share it. So you're my guinea pig, but thank you.
How many years have you been in business?
2 years. Yeah.
Both years awarded best place
So
to
we
work,
won
was it?
2 awards. We won the Small Business of the Year for a business under 2 years old. We won it in 10 months for Gwinnett Chamber, and then we won Best Employer of Gwinnett for the Gwinnett magazine. We're up for that. We're up for another Pinnacle Award for the Small Business Resource Champion. We got a finalist for the Impact Award for Economic Development. I've got a Moxie Award from the chamber, which is awesome. I'm nominated. That's super flattering. But I think the biggest testament is we've over doubled our growth this year. What? Like, I never thought that would happen, but you know, it goes back to if you put good in the world out, it will come back. I'm not 100% certain how it has happened. It kind of blows my mind every day. But you just get up and do it and hope it comes back, and if it doesn't come back, then it was a great ride.
Great.
So.
What was the business you were gonna do that you?
It was it sounds so funny now, but we were totally sold. It was a direct mail marketing company. So I came from marketing and branding, and I wanted to stick to that expertise.
Yeah.
And I was so against them that I was like, you have a business model? Like, no. And then they totally sold me. And then it ended up falling through because it wasn't right. Then when we wiped the slate clean and I was trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, I tried doing marketing freelance and marketing branding freelance. Learned that I hated it. I love it, not to do it. So I learned that there are things that you love that you shouldn't necessarily do, but I was trying to stay in the marketing arena. And I still do marketing now, but Amanda over there works at our company, and she is one of our marketing extraordinaires, which is why we're doing some content today. But yeah, there was that, and then there was you ever heard of Brain Balance? You do radio commercials, we got really close on that one too. I'm just one right.
Very good.
All right, well, thank you.
Gabrielle, thanks so